All right, good morning. How are you? How is everything? Today, welcome to our second lesson on Python. Second lesson on Python. I believe you watched the first video, and I'm very, very sorry. It actually took me long before I could actually put out another video like this. So, I would want you to quickly get accustomed with this. Just to practice. That's one of the way you're going to get good. So, all right now. So, in this video, I will be showing you how you can really and truly make money. Sorry. Don't mind me. I'm not teaching you how to make money. I'm only teaching you a skill that is going to make you money. And this, if you can learn Python, there are a lot of things you can do with Python. You can do ethical hacking with Python. It is very, very versatile. It's a very, very versatile use case in cyber security, data analysis, machine learning, web development, software programming, software development, just to name a few. And if you can get good with Python, it is very, very easy for you to actually transit to any other coding. It's just like you knowing how to drive a car. And immediately you know how to drive a car. Let's say you know how to drive an automatic car. To actually truly learn how to drive a manner is not really going to be that hard because you already have the basic knowledge on how to control a car. The only thing you just need to know is the coordination of both your legs and your hands. That's all. But really, and if you learn how to drive a manual car, that means you don't even need to go and learn um you don't even need to go and learn how to drive an automatic car. That is how learning a programming language is. So learning Python will give you an edge for you to be able to actually learn other programming languages. And I'm very, very, very glad of putting this thing to your hearing today. So now let us quickly see how we're going to have this done. All right. So let's say. So today, first, I actually introduced you to Python and all. Today, we are going to be talking about variables and how they work. And I'm actually introduced you to types. And what is variable? Variable is actually a housing is actually a value that hold a use case for a particular value. What do I mean? You all remember in algebra or in mathematics, the simple mathematics, what is x? X is a value. I understand now. So that means that, and then when you use x, when you already gotten the value of x, you can use the value of x in any place. That is what variable is. Do you understand? And we have that in programming language. In programming languages, we use variable to store informations. We use variable to store informations, and this information can actually be reused in any part of our code later. All right, let me quickly show. And how do we declare a variable? We declare a variable using assignment. And what do I mean by assignment? We assign a particular figure or whatever it is, either figure or figure. When I mean figure, that means it can be any types of figure. It can be floating, it can be boolean. Sorry, it can be floating, it can be boolean, it can be uh what am I saying now? It can be floating, it can be boolean, it can be string, it can be integer and whatever. So is all these things I'm saying you are going to understand as time goes on. But don't worry, if you can follow this to true and true. So now let's guess. Let's say I want to declare a variable. I told you that a variable is what we use in housing a particular information, and this information can be used in our code. Don't forget that what you use, don't forget what we use in running our code. We use print statements in running our code. Now let us quickly start. What if I say let me declare a variable and let's say name. How you get name equals name equals it can be anything. Name equals equals C. Don't forget the last time when you want to actually declare something that is had to do with word, you put them inside code. This is to typify that this particular thing you are doing is a what? Is a string. And string is a non-integer statement or non-integer function. Can I call it function? But it's just a non-integer something that does not really have a number or anything like that. It's just either word or letters or anything that has to do with letters, that has to do with instruction. We call them strings. And this is what we use in you know in doing whatever it is we want to do that is related to that. So, for example, now I wanted to write Ayomikos. I had to put Ayomikos in what? In a quote. This is to show that I am declaring a variable that is a string. So, if I want to get this information, I want to run this code now. I'll just need to write print print name. You know that before we have to write print and yomi policy. This has already helped us that we don't really need to write print and yomi policy anymore. We can just simply say print name and we are going to see what it's going to print out now. You see, is all right. You see, it prints out IOM policy from here. You can see like that is just the way it is. So now this can be many things. Let's assume that I am writing and getting it something very funny. I want to declare, I want to print out the name of someone. Let's say as you are entering, you get to a site and you are entering, you input your name and all. And don't forget that there's a particular way whereby that site can actually output whatever it is you are going to, or whatever it is you've written or you've said. Now let us quickly do something like that. Let's say I declare a variable f name. This f name is what? First name. Do you understand? Let me call it f. Sorry, f name. Let me call it f name, and that's, let me say person. All right, and let me call this l name, and let me call it play. Right. So I'll be saying a lot of few things here. I would like you to go. And do you know what? I can actually output I can output this, and I can output this right by saying print what? My F name, my name as F name. Are you getting it? Comma F name, comma, let's say, comma, L name. You will see what we're going to have now. Let's see what we're going to have. Can you see? It printed out Ayomi Posse Kingsley. Now, that means that I just want to print out this. Okay, I can print out a particular message. I can say print. Don't forget, you have to put it in string. Do you get? You are your name is. You see what I just did? Now, if I run this, you are going to run into error. Look at what will happen. You see, your name is, so it's giving us syntax error. Are you getting it now? So look at the error that we ran into. Say we forgot a comma. So what you should have done is that, so there are two things we can use to actually, add everything together. And why does this really happen? Because this is a string. And a string will only work with a string except it is concatenated. And what does that mean to be concatenate something? Concatenation means that you join two things of different types. Now, what do I mean by types? Types is a type of function, is a kind of function we use in Python, whereby each of these types have their own function they perform. For example, string is a kind is a yeah, is a type. Integer is a type. Like this, integer will perform the function of a number. String will perform the function of an alphabet. And if I write something like this thing does not, it simply means that this is not a string. Are you getting it? Because I didn't put it in a what? In a quote. Now, if I put it in a quote now, let's assume I put this in a quote. I put this in a quote here. Let me delete this and put everything in a quote. You see what will happen. You see that what this will tell me, what is going to print exactly what is inside this list. Are you getting? Because what Python is looking at that, okay, this thing you are writing is just a normal string you want me to print. And it's going to print that out for you. Look at it. Your name is F name, L name. Do you get it? Look at what it's going to print out. So from here now, we are seeing that this is what our Python programming is going to look like. But this is wrong. We are not doing something, we are not printing out just ordinary letter. We want to print out the information that it is in our variable. And how do you do that? You must be able to do what? Okay, let me return this. name is, let me return this. So you will be since in as much I'm actually going to be printing out this without writing I am equals and case. I want to print out what is inside my variable. I can either use what I call a what? A comma. I can use a comma. Are you getting? Let me clean this. I can use a comma to display this. Can you see? Your name is Ayomiposi Kingsley. Or I can use a plus. You get, I can use a plus. Right. Your name is Ayomiposi Kingsley. Now look at what happened. Your name is Ayomiposi Kingsley. Why does this really happen? Because there is no what? There is no space. I didn't put space here. So let's run it again. Alright. So this one simply means that what is this one telling us? It's telling us that it's telling us that there are a lot of things that you can do just by what? Just by concatenating two of these strings together. Do you see what? Look at how this happen. Look at how this happen. It shows everything together. And how do you do that? The only thing you just need to do is to work on your space. Is to work on your space. Now, what does that mean? Look at what was brought out. You see, it's telling us that this is a what? This is a string. Do you get that now? It's telling me that this is a what? This is a string. And if you can understand how this is being gotten, like if you can understand this, you will not have any problem doing or running into issue. The only thing you just need to come into realization is that Python will only Python type will work its own Python type, or else it is being converted to that original Python type. Now let us look at another thing. Let me look at let us just separate this with comma. You see, it has come back to the original what? Original was the original stuff. So now this cannot only work with variable does not really work with string alone. It also work with integers. Integer is a type is a type of data. Are you getting? We call them data types. It's a type of data also. That is, we have data types that are string. We have data types that are what? That are also integers. For example, let's say, let me clean all this. Let me comment this out and be like, okay, let's assume that we have that x equals to, let's say, 4 and y equals to 6, and then z equals to, which is 8. It's a print, it's a print x comma y z. Look at what is going to happen now. You see, you print out 4, 6, 7, 8. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Now, I can decide that, okay, print, what if I decide that, okay, print this yours, Z. What does it give me? Because Python was able to recognize that this is an integer. Are we getting? And since it is an integer, now look at what it's saying. So now this is telling us that this is an integer. Are you getting me now? So an integer will always work with an integer. Did you understand? So also all operations really exist. Do you understand? All basic operation, the addition, subtraction, multiplication, everything exists in Python. You can do whatever it is in as much you declare your variable. I believe we'll all understand this. I believe if you not really understand what I've done or what you just said, just drop a comment below, and I'm going to truly reply. My name is Posse Code, and we meet tomorrow for another lesson. Take care. You are on your way to becoming the best version of yourself. Come on, take care. Let's get this running.